because I think Shing is getting to a point now where it's like, I need to win or I need to stop. And I want to see him do well. It's been so long, and he's always been a force for the teams he's played on, but he's been always on the cusp of greatness.
Just like almost there. Maybe this Denial squad will be the team that can really bring him to it.
You know, and I hate to go back to it, but back at the launch tournament, you know, COG was favored to win that. You know, the old, you know, now Cloud9, the Barracuda roster, all that. And it was actually Shing that wound up not throwing the second game. It's not really a throw, but he sent the cats out onto the Titan and bled the Titan, but the bleed also hit a god, and the cats left. And the Titan lived with like 5% left.
I will always remember that.
And they were winning. That set was 1-0 in favor of Snipe. If Shing had won that game, there was a chance they were going to win launch, and then they didn't make it to Worlds after the LAN. You know, he was on the Dig roster back with Lasses and Zatman, and
in solo.
TSM came out of nowhere and just, hey, look at us.
Yeah. What could have been in a different storyline, but right now we're on the main timeline, and two bans have been out. Team eLevate started out with Giannis, so although they allowed their Aduro to play it, they don't want to first pick it this time around, and Circuit will be banned out by Denial Esports.
So for me, I think this is eLevate trying to bait the Sylvanus pick. They're probably going to look for okay, never mind. I still think they're going to bait the Sylvanus pick. I think Aduro's looking for Upwash.
Interesting. Upwash is definitely a character. When Aduro was playing as a starter during the summer split, Upwash was definitely a character he did not shy away from. So a very potent but easy to gank individual.
Final ban option here in the first phase for Denial. Still a lot of high-level picks, and it's going to be Wukong that gets hit. Team eLevate, are we going to see Wukong?
We just might. It looks like Denial understands exactly where you're coming from with your attention devoted to Mytherea. Two powerful junglers being taken away from eLevate when Shing is potent.
Isis.
Aduro's Isis.
That's true.
Also very, very strong. And this allows, not only does this allow Aduro to play it, but it also disallows, as we said in game one, Macetodaface also has a very powerful Isis. So by drafting this first, two birds, one stone.
Geb going to be locked away for Shadowq. One more option for Denial. I'm thinking they're probably going to pick for Mace here. There's a few options still remaining. I could see an Agni run back. But no, I'm sorry. Wukong's still on the table. Almost forgot. Whalrus, though, not having the best game last game. I expected a lot more, especially with how far ahead his team was in the lead. It still seemed like Scary D had control. With that, eLevate probably should pick Bellona back up here to run this matchup back.
Without a doubt. As you said, now the matchup on paper is very different, but as the Bellona's going to be locked in, you don't play the ideal Smite game. You play the Smite game you're actually in. And at the end of the day, Scary D's Bellona beat Whalrus's Wukong last time. No reason to not do it again. Sylvanus going to be locked in for Team eLevate.
All right, so option back over. Again, this looks like an Agni pick to me. It's safe. It still opens counter picks for certain matchups, allows them to go through the banning phase. The mage is already picked, so getting their mage here is definitely safe. Agni, I'm expecting Hunter ban, Hunter pick is probably the safest way to go here, but they could try to target Mytherea again for that Hun bots, which we know has been very effective. I don't think they're going to be afraid of the Fenrir.
Yeah, I think the bats is the ban to go. We will see that coming out from Denial Esports. And again, one of the biggest things about Agni going into Isis, Isis has extraordinary wave clear, but it's all off of a channeled ability. And if Agni stuns you during it, well, that's that. And
he can very quickly. Not to mention Path of Flames. Very hard to control if your jungler's not around. Clears the way very quickly. Apollo going to be locked in again here for Denial. Bronx had a great game last game. No reason to shy away.
Again, if the damage is coming out from the other players on the team, assuming that Shing's going to do the same thing that he did in game one, absolutely no reason to shy away from just pushing objectives.
I mean, it's the same comp.
Yeah.
It's the same comp. In fact, we're going to get, it looks like close to a run back. Sylvanus will have switched sides. Geb joins Denial, and then Isis instead of Janus. But, I mean, I can't imagine we're going to see Hou Yi again, though.
We're going to see Medusa being picked up for eLevate, so no Hou Yi one more time.
They know that he wants Awilix, right? So picking jumps is very dangerous, which is why I'm very surprised we saw Fenrir, considering most of his abilities are jumps.
Agreed. Yeah, Brutalize actually counts as a jump.
It counts as 3 jumps, 4 jumps.
So the window of opportunity is big. Here, if you're looking to if you're trying to find out more and more about Team eLevate as the jungler reprises his role on Awilix, if you're trying to find out more about these individual players, look at the picks. Medusa being picked again outside of Hou Yi. You can sort of get the idea that Vessalius tends to like these team fight hunters. He's not necessarily looking to win 1v1 right away, but when it comes to team fights, he really wants to be able to maximize his effectiveness for his team.
Going into the game here, again, we're looking at Shing. If he can run this back,
yes.
It's going to be a quick game.
Yeah, I mean, look at a Shing to just do exactly what he did. For the Denial fans at home, you guys want to see Shing do what he did last time around, which allows BronxBombers to ignore the fights and push the objectives. If you're rooting for eLevate, if you want to get your FP for the blue squad, then this time around, you want to see the matchup in the long lane go the way you expected it to be, but actually switch it around. Yeah. Scary D will be playing the Fenrir, which means Mytherea will be taking Bellona into the jungle.
That's surprising to me. And while Mytherea probably didn't have the best game on Fenrir, the real trouble here is that if Wukong gets started, he's never going to be stopped. Scary D, though, I mean, Fenrir is not a terrible matchup. The issue, his Brutalize can be stopped by the Tiger.
Yes, it can.
Which is very important. On top of the fact that Whalrus can live through most of what Scary D can send his way, and he has significantly better clear. Whalrus needs to not shy away here, needs to play the aggressive route and not let Scary D control the lane.
Scary D, for what it's worth, is a good Fenrir player. In the past, we've seen him pull it out and do work in that regard, but also not for nothing. Just giving the person a loop, giving your opponent a loop, not allowing, look, Denial beat us with almost the same comp. Why are we going to give the same thing to them? Give them a small jump, allow Mytherea to play, again, a team fight-oriented jungler.
Look at this. They have set up so many wards that they know that they can safely take both mid-camps here. This is really smart.
So much vision coming out of eLevate. Now, these mid-camps, when the change was first made, a lot of people were talking about, well, why don't you start at mids? And there was a lot of conversation about that. Did eLevate put themselves behind by deciding to go for mids?
It's going to depend on the rotations coming out at the 1 minute mark, right? When we see these junglers start to get away, where are we going to see, Bellona, not Fenrir. Where are we going to see Bellona go? Is it going to be to the mid lane? Is she going to go to the solo? All right, so this is going to be interesting. It looks like Shing, Shing is going to join in the solo lane, but Mytherea dives back and they're going to go for speed. This, in my opinion, is a big win for eLevate.
eLevate being very efficient here in our second game of the matchup. Denial took the first one if you're just joining us.
This is lost experience right now for Whalrus. I mean, they can't afford to have a Wukong, who's normally so dominant, fall behind. Oh!
Scary D taking a scary amount of damage.
That was very, very close. If that Brutalize hadn't activated, he wouldn't have been knock-up immune. And if there was a slow there, Shing could have feather-stepped for the kill.
Shoulda, coulda, woulda. No kills result. Scary D going to be safely underneath his tower. Got the health pot rolling. Great blink pull coming out from Metyankey, but not enough to secure the kill on the BronxBombers. Vicium, or Vessalius, rather, just a step behind.
Metyankey forced to pop a few potions here. Make sure that he can sustain in lane a little while longer. Used a lot of his mana in the last engagement. This is what I want to see, though. Shing camping Fenrir, putting him behind. Whalrus continuously pressuring their lane.
Just not allowing any chance for Fenrir to even think about getting ahead.
Left side, again, getting pressured. You see Vessalius starting to strip away some gold from BronxBombers. Maybe not a ton, but it's, it can add up over time, although the gold is very even at this point.
Minion kills are even. Well, actually, not for our hunters. Very, very low is Vessalius in comparison to BronxBombers. I kind of just assumed that mid laner was our hunter.
Damage coming to Mace, not a lot, shouldn't deter him. Back camp's not available on the bottom side, but the rights are starting to come up. Top side does have the right available. It's expected that we're going to see Shing. No, they're going to try to defend against what could have been a gank or go for the red buff.
So we're talking about small leads here, and it looks like the start of the mid camps netted eLevate about a 400 to 500 gold lead. Denial just recently took about 100 off of that, but so being able to pick those up without the junglers, being able to do their preset choreography, interesting approach.
All right, we got Mytherea coming in here. Bronx immediately dashes away. They're going to look at Shadowq.
Ultimate used maybe a little preemptively right there for eLevate.
I can't tell if he missed or the Geb shield was perfect. Now, I don't know that you can Geb shield in reaction. I mean, there is like a 3-frame startup, so it's possible that he could have shielded himself out of that, or it might have just been that he missed Eagle's Rally on a slow Geb.
I think the shield came out, honestly. That's what it looked like.
It's too hard to call from where I'm sitting.
So either way,
it was close.
We'll call it a wash. Meanwhile, eLevate, knowing, or Denial rather.
To me, that's not a wash. I think that's a win. Throwing down the Eagles Rally and having that wasted at this stage hurts. Beautiful. Shing following up here. Metyankey, Aduro trying to throw this one around. Circle of Protection does well. Vessalius actually turning the Shing, able to get out of there. Camps went to Lord knows who.
Love the rotation out of the hunters.
Whalrus in trouble. Going to be forced to ult here.
Oh! Ultimate, not quite enough. Scary D puts eLevate on the board first at 3 minutes and 40 seconds.
So what you saw right there is Whalrus attempted to use the animals, cancel it, and go into the ult to try to get himself away from the tower. Had he just ulted, it was much more likely that he would have escaped, but he tried to make the fancy play, and he's going to fall. That's a really big win for Scary D at this stage, considering Scary was locked under his tower for how long?
And Scary D is going to be level 7. Whalrus, only 5.
And with that, on his next back, boots are done. And that's a big deal because he's been sitting on 15 damage. It's about to be 55.
Ouch. That is going to be big. We'll see. He's going to go ahead back. And as you said, pick up those boots. Immediately make his way.
Beads as well. Potions. He still has gold in hand here. What's he looking for?
Beads and teleport.
Okay. Not
Accidentally
bad.
Activated beads, by the way.
Oh no.
Definitely accidentally activated
the worst
beads.
Feeling
Beads
in the whole
one.
world. Hitting a level 3, a level 1 or level 1 beads or level 1 Aegis. It's just like you're typing to someone or you're doing VGS or you're trying to activate teleport and you just hit it and you're like, oh. But they don't know. He thinks he just has beads now.
That's the big deal. The beads were actually activated in the base.
Right.
From where I'm sitting, what it looked like was he bought beads first and tried to teleport, as if he bought teleport first.
Right, because normally what you want to do for min-max potential, because it saves you 1.5 seconds, 2 seconds, is you buy the teleport, you start teleporting, then you go back into the shop and buy a whole bunch of stuff within 3 seconds.
Yep. And the thought process was there, but the execution not. And it seems like we're, talking about a small point, but at any point in time, these beads can make a huge deal. But as we said, it happened in the base. So, to Denial's knowledge, this Fenrir's got beads available.
Right, so Whalrus is going to play this a lot more turtley than he normally would. He's like, he's got beads, Shing, don't bother, like, we'll never catch him. Because, I mean, it's a Fenrir with beads, so, like, you're not going to kill him. Oh, but they're going to try.
And they know he doesn't have beads right now. Scary D forced into the Ragnarok right underneath the tower. Denial definitely going for, let's just get his beads and walk away here.
Like, all right, we got his ult.
Yep.
We got his ult. It's not bad. Right, now Whalrus can be a little bit more aggressive. Still thinks he has beads, though.
The beads secretly are still
Unless
down
before the game started, he was talking to Adonis. Adonis the Prophet knows all.
The Prophet, Adonis and Funball hanging out just a little too much. They're Baba Yetu.
Baba Yetu. Praise be.
7-7 on the Hunters right here on the left-hand side of the lane. Vessalius doing well to keep up with BronxBombers. Both Hunters hit 8 at the exact moment in time. Great stuff.
Scary D again locked into the tower. Very low health. If Whalrus finds a good Tiger Stun here, it's going to be a very clean Master's Will and then can follow up easily with the Cudgel. That should be the kill. Scary D gonna back though.
No.
He's close enough to get that experience. Let's see what Whalrus can do in terms of clear time. We'll take a look at the mid camps.
Mytherea in the middle of everything here. Great pull coming out from the Sylvanus. Metyankey immediately turns around. Here's BronxBombers, and the ultimate used just as a deterrent.
No one was ready. Metyankey, finds this big pull, goes for the ult, but no one was even remotely close to him. And honestly, that's not even a lack of communication. I think people were calling things at the same time as Metyankey found it. Blinks in, but I mean, he doesn't have any cooldowns.
Yeah, there's no pull, there's no ultimate available either, so Metyankey just blinks
taken.
and puts himself behind enemy lines, and with that,
he's alive!
Metyankey's still here.
Good old
ultimate
wisps.
pulled out by Geb to stun out Mytherea, but, well, everyone on the side of eLevate will go ahead and get away despite what looked like a slight misstep. Denial leaves with no kills.
Good old wisps. Just doing a great job there, keeping him alive, and just barely. Whalrus should be hitting level 9 here as Scary D looks into the jungle. He sees Shing, and oh my god, just goes right for it.
Shing able to
jump. Dude, he's crazy.
Yeah.
Very smart of him to let that go. Brutalized could have been crippled, and at that point, there would have been no escape probability.
Scary D by himself, contesting this blue buff with 2 people here.
I mean,
Shing,
level 10
level
Fenrir,
8.
right?
Whalrus level 8.
He can't jump anymore, though.
Nope, not available.
I like the fact that Shing is trying to hit from max range. Mytherea is in here, and he's going to find a gravity surge. Shing knows that it's not enough damage. He's pulled. He's disarmed. He's hit. Can he get out? No.
Smoked. Jump over the top, gets the second kill for eLevate.
Whalrus
on the other hand, wants to fight Mytherea.
No follow-up, though. The animals are already on cooldown. Has about a few, I would say 5 more seconds or so. Misses the jump. Takes some tower damage. They're going for it. Brutalized, doing a lot. That's going to be a 2-for-0, but Denial takes the Gold Fury.
That is textbook right there. eLevate does get the kill over on the side, but as soon as they show their cards, Denial asks for more, takes out the Gold Fury. I always compare it to a triple beam balance. As soon as you see the right side of the game, right side of the map, heavy with the opponent team, you know that the left side's going to be weak. So you just go ahead, take out the Gold Fury.
Yes, please. Everyone listen to that, please. As a solo laner, having 3 people gank you and you not get a Gold Fury is like, guys, Guys, please.
Exactly. As a solo laner, if there's 3 people in your lane, your response should never be, come help me. Your response should be, get the gold fury.
I get more gold if you don't help me. Just let me die.
And more we're seeing this stuff come out. It's just so, at this level of play, it's just so rudimentary and textbook. In fact, I pose you the question, Brandon, how does a team gank solo lane without that happening? Does gold have to be down?
I mean, it comes down to you can't overcommit to it. You always need to make sure if someone's rotating to right that you have someone also rotating to left to watch the gold fury. And when you have a character, like Isis, who could blow that thing up,
sure,
the first thing on her mind, if you're ganking solo, should be, I got to make sure if my mid laner's not here that I'm looking at gold fury.
So immediate understanding of where everybody is and what tools you have in your kit to really prevent that.
Ooh, Metyankey, threading the needle there. Goes in between Geb and Awilix, and they were close together. That was kind of heartbreaking.
That could have been big. That could have been huge.
To be fair, though, even if he caught someone, was that a death?
Well, it would have been an annoyance.
That's fair.
And I mean, with a 30-second cooldown, might as well, right?
Metyankey out of position here. Featherstep doing damage. Wisps forced early. Right side, Mytherea doing damage. Shadowq going to be forced away. Right side camps should be going to blue here, but Whalrus not going to let him go for free.
Scary D's here. Going to play zone.
Scary's going to grab him. Cataclysm's already down. Whalrus getting sent to the back line. Ooh, big damage, and again, Whalrus unable to take to the sky here as BronxBombers comes raining down. Trying to find the kill into Aduro. Needs 2 attacks from here.
Safe.
Couldn't find the second one.
Beautiful silence coming out from
caught.
the sub mid laner is going to save his life, and in fact, it's going to net him a kill. On the other side, Shing gives credit to Aduro.
Mace to the face, stuck. Oh my god, a 4-for-1. I kind of thought they were going to go for Fire Giant there with just Shadowq alive at half health and them having good trade-off potential with having that Hunter. I mean, Aduro was pretty low, but if they did that perfectly, there was a chance. But, I mean, it was very, very risky. And it's
exactly. Fire Giant spawned 45 seconds ago, so not a lot of damage on these players. Instead, they're going to play the safe option, take out the tower, and then look at the Gold Fury that's no longer there.
I hope they clear this. Yeah, okay, so Metyankey clears this. They don't have the timer, but it's going to pop up right now. I'm going to see if they recognize this and make the rotation.
Not quite. No. They're going to go ahead and back eLevate.
They think it's a little too scary. And honestly, probably the better call,
sure,
considering that Shing is already there.
I mean, it's again, that was a huge team fight. I think both of us sort of just forgot that it's only 11 minutes in, so these players are spawning so much quicker than we're used to.
Only level 10 here. Mytherea having a much better game, 1-1-3, but the real story here is Scary D, the, I guess, second newest member to the roster with Aduro joining today. Scary D at 4-0-3 right now, a part of every single kill his team has earned.
As I said, this Fenrir in the hands of Scary D we've seen it once or twice before, and I've definitely heard the rumblings of the pros talking about what it can do, and this is on display right here. Again, a matchup that might not necessarily go the way of the non-Wukong player, but eLevate, making it happen.
Mytherea going into the blue buff here. Scary D will have a little bit more mana sustain as he goes back to lane afterwards. Sitting pretty, you got that Rune Forge hammer already mashed up there. Whalrus going into the Mystical Mail. Can we check gold in hand and see his timing? He's about 1,100, 1,200 gold away from getting that Mystical Mail, so Scary D likely going to use this time to make his life a living hell.
Very expensive item to get put online, so because of that, Scary D able to...
Is it the most expensive defensive item?
I mean, it's 1,400 gold after you buy.
It's 1,450.
Yeah,
it's 2,850 total. It's very expensive.
Yeah, it just might be the most expensive defensive item, quite frankly.
It used to be the Crit Crown, but that isn't as expensive anymore.
And to be fair, Mystical Mail vastly changes.
Oh, I mean, like, it deserves to be the most expensive item. It should be 300 gold more. Like, the item's incredible. Gives you a ton of health, gives you a ton of defense, plus 40 magical damage and an AoE aura. I mean, it's the dream.
At the same time, solo laners love it. It's one of the most purchased, if not the most purchased item in the solo lane. Solo laner for Cognitive, Meerkat. I know he absolutely loves this item specifically, so...
No, Meerkat hates it. Okay. He's looking at it. FL's looking at me. Production informs us, yes, it is the most expensive by 400. Is that correct?
That's a lot of gold, yes.
Jeez. Hide of the Urchin, of course, getting a reduction recently down to 24.
Which is important. Yeah, I like Hide of the Urchin. Hold that thought, though. We'll discuss it in a minute. Gold Fury being started by eLevate. almost by surprise.
Circle of protection.
Denial knows it now. Shadowq on his way. Protection is down.
Bronx,
Pull
welcome.
into it is BronxBombers. Here comes Shadowq trying to get the
explode.
steal. It's already gone, and eLevate does secure it despite an early pop from the Isis.
Here comes Mytherea, or Scary D rather, on the Fenrir. Bronx taking a lot of damage, will fall
Huge.
once again. 1 for 0 so far, plus the lady. That's a big win there for eLevate.
This is a great performance by eLevate. Almost 14 minutes in, 8-1 read the kills. That's not a mistake. And eLevate leading this game by about 4,500 gold. Very different
And
from the game we just saw.
This is the only team in the SPL that has never won a game.
Well, is there
Oh, and look at this. Scary D right back to his lane. Won't miss any of your gold or experience to the tower. I love this because they have more than enough people to rush this. You see 2 people on the map here. He spotted Shing on the right side. He knows that Shadowq's right in front of him. So this is going to make sure that eLevate gets a free tier 2. Zayden, we got to go to the graphs.
6,000 gold on the side of the winless
14
team.
minutes too.
That's the phrase I was looking for. Winless.
Winless.
Aggression coming out from Denial because they caught a couple of people out. Aduro on the good side of the Apollo ultimate as it finds its way a little bit left.
Yeah, the team kind of split there. No one really committed to either fight, allowing both of them to escape. I expected that Aduro was going to go down there, but suddenly they just got baited by the presence of Bellona.
Bronx didn't really, as you said, didn't commit to the lane fight, which is where Aduro was. And with that, we'll see the mid laner back.
Aduro backs, yeah, at level 15. 2 levels ahead of his, I guess, veteran opponent, Macetodaface. They're looking at pretty similar builds here as we see both of them going into Spear and Boots, but there's already a Bancroft's Talon ready for Isis. One of my favorite items in the game on her. Remember, guys,
too.
As she goes lower in health, she gains more and more damage. The passive, of course, from Bancroft's Talon. Now, given the fact that she's going to want to take damage inside her circle of protection as a bait, this doubles the effectiveness outright of Bancroft's Talon.
And it's a huge part of what it gives lifesteal a little bit, but it's really about the damage you gain by going down, as you said. And that being able to bait inside of that circle of protection is a huge, often overlooked, important skill to have when you're playing Isis.
Right side, once again, Whalrus returning only level 14 here compared to the 17 Scary D.
Wow, 17.
Scary D really, I mean, this is the set. I mean, even though his team lost pretty dramatically in the last game, I think he played very well. This is the set that proves to me that Scary D belongs in this role.
Yeah.
Because I've been unconvinced up until this point.
Well, he's definitely made the campaign, and blinking in is Metyankey. They want to take down this solo lane tower. Here comes Aduro with the circle of protection, providing some protection from the tower, but it's still raining down. Shadowq forced out of the fight.
The tower needs to be killed
as well. The tower goes down.
Scary D in a lot of trouble here. Eagles Rally, though, going to swing big. Shing not finding the ultimate, getting very low and picked off by Vessalius.
Vessalius on this Medusa, as we said, team fight, team fight, team fight. That's exactly what we're seeing out of him. eLevate. Meanwhile, the rest of the team on the right-hand side of the map still pushing down. This should be the second tier 2 going the way of the blue squad, but keep in mind, never forget the Apollo, who's doing the exact same thing.
Scary D made the wrong choice there. I mean, unless they get the Fire Giant right now, Scary D should have teleported to the tier 2. It looks like they're going to try to all in and rock this lead, but this is the throw potential. If Mace spots this out and lands a few choice bombs, it's going to be big-time disappointment for the E-Boys.
Fire Giant down to 40%. Here comes Denial, but they're one by one. Shadowq, Gib Shield is good on himself.
They reset it. They reset FG to try to kill Shadowq. Even if they go for it at this point, they have too many people to deal with.
Zayden,
left
hand side.
Left
Phoenix,
side.
We do have BronxBombers going to be safe. Vessalius just enough to push off the split pushing Apollo.
That's a successful defense. I mean, trading your support for making sure that you don't lose Fire Giant or a Phoenix, eLevate did not choose correctly there. They should have either all-in one thing or defended the tier 2. With that, Denial, while they're still vastly behind at this stage, it's showing that they have a breath here, which is more than enough to bring them back. Denial has a lot of comeback potential between characters like Agni and Apollo.
And I mean, not for nothing, these teams, 5,000 gold, 6,000 gold. This is a lead. Yeah. And eLevate is definitely winning, definitely have the momentum, and definitely more likely to win this game. However, it's an easy lead to come back from. It's only 6,000 gold. It's not 10,000, 12,000. Denial can very much claw out of this hole. And I mean, 18.5 minutes in, Brandon, there's still a lot of Smite to be played.
Right, I mean, they have 2,000 effective tower gold on the map, not to mention a Gold Fury coming up. eLevate going to take another stab at this one. Mytherea going real deep will show them basically like, hey, I'm standing here because we're doing Fire Giant. And Shadowq quick on the uptake here. Oh, but Circular Protection's all they need. This is eLevate's.
Pop, pop. Fire Giant goes their way. eLevate looking to make the most off of the ultimates, and Shadowq going to go ahead and fall down, but everybody's looking at Shadowq, so that'll be the only god right now to fall.
Wow, okay, let's take a look at time spent dead here as we see the support go down again. Yeah, there it is. It's actually Shing on top, Shadowq close behind, Whalrus and BronxBomber tied in that regard as well, and then Macetodaface riding the bottom. Only one death right now on the side of Denial. One kill on the side of Denial, and that's, yeah, it's on Mace actually, and that belongs to, it looks like, Mytherea, and it's Bellona. I mean, she only was dead for 33 seconds. It's not a big deal. Denial's
going to give up this mid Phoenix, and what they're doing in exchange is they're going to go ahead and push both mid tower by Shing, and then two people, the Hunter, Apollo, and his friend will push the tower. This is a race.
Metyankey getting low, but Wisp's coming back up. Huge damage to Mace here. Going to be dashing away. Can't dash away from the Brutalize, however. Unchained will find it. Right side Phoenix still standing as the left side Phoenix falls on the bottom. Getting closer. They got it.
Two Phoenixes go down. eLevate, the people that take it out. Denial now playing defense. Here comes BronxBombers, fresh off of his own Phoenix kill. He's going to chase down Vessalius, but Scary D's got him in his mouth, and Vessalius turns it right around. 13-2, read the kill.
One of my favorite things to see is Fenrir ripping someone out of the sky from a knockup. Shadowq getting very low. Shing trying everything just to find a kill here, and they won't. They've gotten one, but he's trying to box out. Again, huge steroid, but Shing is out of position here. He's going to try to jump away. The Wisps are on. One auto attack plus the final ticks of Wisps send Shing back to the base again. Two Phoenixes for one. Fire Giant taken as well. Whoa. Scary D coming back in.
Just going so aggressive. Shadowq already about 75% HP. That is the tank. 6-0-6.
He's by himself.
Yes, he is. He's feeling himself. He's been very strong thus far, but he might be in a little bit of trouble. Might have bit off more than he could chew here.
Oh my God, that slow makes me want to jump off bridges. Oh God, that was so hard to watch. He's just like walking at 50% movement speed. Chasing him back down. Not going to have Unchained for 7 more seconds here. Shadowq try to send him in the direct regard. Perfect use of Ragnarok there. Stops the animals from stunning him out.
Great play.
Will be able to escape and then right into the Seething Hell to heal himself back up to full.
Scary D really pushing the boundaries of what it means to be alone on a Fenrir, able to get out. Huge part of that fight for me, Brandon. Shell was available at the very end when Shing engaged.
That's true.
So he had a huge steroid, as you mentioned. I think that's one of the more overlooked portions of that Awilix ult is the steroid it gives you.
Right.
But Metyankey was totally fine with it as popped Shell. Great decision to hold that until absolutely necessary.
So check this out. In the mid lane here, we have Scary D pushing up a wave of fire minions. This will force Denial to start protecting the Titan while they push to the left side. Shadowq only going to find one. Decent damage to a Duro, but circular protection still available.
Great
Metyankey finds 4.
Vessalius gets more than one with his ultimate, and that's going to spell slows for the entirety of the Denial squad.
Scary D finally going to fall here, but they get the third Phoenix in response. Whalrus trying to fight his way back there. You see the decoy going down. Whalrus back, full health, but the fire minions are in. 3 waves of fire minions going to be coming in at a time now. We have only seen 1 3 Phoenix comeback in competitive Smite.
Now, last match, and actually that was launch tournament, eh?
No, Worlds. I'm sorry, Regionals.
Regionals. Titan, or Aquila then, Titan now against Cloud9.
Right, the COG comeback was a 2 Phoenix comeback.
Yes, it was. Correctly. So eLevate here, it's actually interesting. Last match, game 1, Denial wins in spectacular fashion, 24-4.
Right.
eLevate, well, it's 18-3 right now, or it's 15-3 right now. Can they keep Denial below 4?
You know, we talked about how they had a 6K gold lead. I mean, let's look at the graphs. After everything they gained here, it's a 6K gold lead. I mean, there are 3 waves of fire minions burning in every 30 seconds, but at the same time, they have not extended their lead by almost any regard. Is this Denial's game to lose? I mean, absolutely not, right? I mean,
right.
eLevate has complete control here. But it's possible. With that one Phoenix down, it means they don't have to defend the left lane. In fact, the fact that Red is pushing up the left side shows that they're trying to regain the Phoenix. Yeah. This is way more risky than anything. But then again, if they don't take this Phoenix down again, the left side fire minions are just going to destroy them.
And a lot of what Denial has been doing this time around is similar to, or exactly the same as what they did in Game 1 with Bronx, and that he's just pushing the tower. So the lead that eLevate is getting is being shortened by Denial just pushing objectives the entire time.
Here we go. Fire Giant going to get started up here. All 5 members of Blue ready to burn this guy down, and it doesn't look like anyone's going to try to make the defense. Shing starts to rotate down, but no, he's going to stick with the Fire Minions. They're choosing to give up Fire Giant in hopes of keeping these Phoenixes alive.
eLevate gets the Fire Giant at exactly the 24-minute mark. eLevate will make their push onto the right-hand side of the map. All 5 players with Aduro in the back and Scary D largely in the front will be looking at this Phoenix that has just respawned.
Moving down the right side. Phoenix should be very little work here. Yep, using the Sentry Ward as a way to block auto attacks, takes no damage and wastes the audacity. Shadowq Cataclysms finds nobody with the stun, decent amount of damage, but clearly undeterred. Right side Phoenix falls.
Triple stun coming out from Macetodaface, but the damage is not there to follow up. Shadowq brought into the bad part of town as Scary D gets credit for that one. 16-3, 2 Phoenixes down. eLevate pushing into the mid lane to take down this Phoenix.
This is all they need. With that down and the fact that they don't have a support on the side of Denial,
this is it.
I don't see a defense here. Now again, they don't have circular protection. It's already been used, but they still have a lot of damage and a lot of control. They're probably going to wait for Fire Minions. Beautiful combo. The Moose getting a huge chunk of their health bars.
Mytherea is low. Everyone on eLevate is low. This could be a swing. Whalrus starts it himself, takes out the mid laning Aduro. BronxBombers is full HP, dishing out as much damage as he can. Scary D is stunned. Mytherea dashes in offensively, and Scary D might be able to get out, but Whalrus trying to make it happen.
I want to see Bronx take to this guy here and rush this down. There he goes. It's right along with him. See what happens.
Riding up on top. Bronx, unable to make it, lands in the back, decides against it, plays safe.
That's very surprising to me to see them not go all in. They already had people in the base defending.
This is a new BronxBombers, usually aggressive to a fault. I mean, this is the guy that combat blinked a Geb on Freya. This is
he got that kill too.
He did. It was
that
great.
Was a really good
and that's
kill.
What I'm saying. He's usually aggressive to the point where he makes these fantastic decisions that you question at first, and then he winds up on the top end.
Well,
but really showing some restraint.
That's another, what, 36, 37, something like 3,800 gold that they add. Gold difference only 9,200, but I mean, I shouldn't say only. All right, they've gotten, let's see, I think that was 5 total Phoenixes, all the towers, 2 Fire Giants, and what, 3 Gold Furies?
3 of them. And here's the change right here, though, Brandon. Before we were talking about how the lead didn't extend too much because Bronx was able to take out so many objectives. Well, the towers are gone and they don't respawn. So now it's time for the lead to just grow.
Well, I mean, at this point, it's all up to eLevate to make sure that they keep the pressure on. Right, Fire Giant buff still active for a little while longer. It's up to them. Do they want to wait the 2 minutes and again get FG, try to control the Phoenixes and get the left side before it happens, or do they want to just try to rush the base down as fast as possible and win the game?
Curious set of options for eLevate.
I think they got this left Phoenix. BronxBombers is not in position to defend. Shing doesn't have enough AoE damage. We're looking almost 100% at Mason. Well, no, Bronx is back. Wow, that was quick.
Scary on the side, looking for somebody to grab, but he gets grabbed himself by Shing. Doesn't matter. Ragnarok is good, but Scary D already very low.
Wow.
The shell used at the beginning of the fight this time around. Aduro picks up one. Vessalius picks up the other. Shadowq surrounded by blue jerseys. He'll go down on the double side of the double kill of the Hunter. 2 members alive for Denial. Last time they had 3 and played defense. This time they've only got 2. And eLevate take the win as the Fire Giant, or the Phoenix, or the Titan rather, falls down.
A big congratulations to eLevate as they find their first win of the split, and a major welcome back to Aduro.
Yes.
Helping them find it.
Huge part of that win. Circle of protections coming up from the ice is so important when it came to those objectives.
I think Aduro was amazing, but almost that entire game for me was Scary D.
I completely agree, and I think everybody out there as far as the fans are concerned would agree as well. I mean, Scary D came out for a large portion of the game. He was a part of 100% of the kills, and I mean, even when that went down, you saw sort of the Fenrir effect of him being aggressed on very early in these fights and losing his HP quicker than usual, still able to be effective.
I mean, he's just so safe. He's making sure that he's not getting hit and then goes right in. Ragnarok brings him back. Level 5, you'll see the small amount of animals used into the ult was too slow. Scary D capitalizes on it, and that's the first blood to Fenrir against Wukong. It spelled the whole story for the game.
And I think that play is a great microcosm of really what Scary D did there. He was 25% HP against a 100% HP Wukong and had no problem going directly into the horse's mouth. And I mean, that really is what happened with Scary D for the most part, and that's why he's going to be player of the game.
I mean, the dude had an incredible run throughout that entire set. But, you know, skip that. Let's actually talk to him. Scary D is here with us. Well, on the internet.
How you doing, Scary D? Welcome. Congratulations.
What's going on, guys? It's Scary D.
Good to hear you, man. So you guys got your first win. This is really important for you. You personally also stepped up to a different level. I'm going to ask you the tough question. What matters more, your incredible play today by yourself or the team victory in Game 2?
Team victory. We really needed this victory.
I think I agree with that 100%. You know, you were in a tough spot. I mean, a lot of that, though, for me, I mean, Aduro, right? Aduro came out of nowhere, subbed in for you guys, rocked the eLevate tag. Tell us about Aduro joining the squad here.
It was just a substitute for today, but he performed extremely well, above our standards, so props to him.
I mean, that's just Aduro, right? That's what he does. So the Fenrir pick, I mean, you did amazingly in Game 1 with Bellona in a matchup that, I mean, I wouldn't say Bellona loses per se, but you probably shouldn't beat Wukong as badly as you did. In the second game, though, you switch it up to give Mytherea the Bellona. Tell me about the switch.
We're just more confident with Mytherea and Bellona.
Just a team fight presence from the jungle able to do that. I mean, I don't think anybody's going to question what you can do on that Fenrir, so great play. I mean, so, as we said, this is your first win coming into it. Looking towards next week and your next opponents, are you guys making any sort of different adjustments, or off of this win, are you just considering, you know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, continue to do what you do?
Definitely, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, man. I mean,
looking forward to the rest of the split.
Well, congratulations on your win. Before we let you go, man, any shout-outs that you want to throw?
Yeah, follow me on Twitter, twitter.com/elevatescaryd. Shoutouts to the troops overseas. Thanks for playing Denial. Nothing can stop the Scary Defender except the bans.
Fantastic stuff. Thanks so much, Scary D, for joining us. And again, eLevate celebrates their first win. And with that, that's going to shake up the North American scene just a little bit. We're going to see them still on the bottom, but as we said, they get a win in the win column, 1-9.
Denial feeling the hurt there. Dropping that game puts them in line with Cognitive. Now, Cognitive was kind of seen as like that loss to enemy in the beginning was going to be too much for them to come back from, but it's been the opposite. Cloud9 has dropped games. Team Eager has dropped games. Denial now has dropped games that perhaps playing a little bit below their standards. And honestly, with the way that they played, I don't think that was below Denial standards because eLevate looked super strong there.
Exactly. eLevate really came out to play. They rose to the occasion and they earned their victory again. A lot of times you could see these teams sort of, they win a lucky team fight after Fire Giant and then go ahead and take the win. This was not the case. eLevate came out as strong as Denial won Game 1. eLevate won Game 2.
Well, let's take a look at the schedule. We have one more day for this week. Tomorrow, going to be checking in Paradigm going up against Team Dignitas and Fnatic going against London. Now, these are two of the top 3 teams as seen by the community go against the middle of the pack for those of you with the FP points. But London and Team Dig have had decent splits so far, most notably London. On the North American side of things, Team Solo Mid's new roster will try their hand at the newly re-energized enemy, and Cloud9 G2A fighting against Eager in the blood match.
I do want to see Cloud9 take on Eager. I think this is one of the more exciting matchups. These teams are very evenly matched as far as skill is concerned. And never forget, solo laner previously on Cloud9 Omega is now on Eager. Cloud9 had to get a new one, so that's always interesting to see teams fight off against each other when there's a little bit of a role swap.
So that's going to do it for us here today. Again, one more day. Check us out tomorrow, 1 p.m. Eastern. Thank you for joining us. It's going to do it for today. See you later, guys. Have a good night.